Hey everyone, it's a beautiful day here in the tech capital of the world, Kernersville, North Carolina. I am Bobby Davis, the founder of Coder Foundry, and running a consulting company called Cortex, where we build software for people all around the country. I'm joined here with my producer extraordinaire, Kevin. Say hello to the world, Kevin.
Hey everybody, hello world.
We have an extra special guest watching today.
Who's that?
Brian's mom.
Brian's mom. Oh, Brian, you made us laugh right before this. I got to put this comment up here because this is funny. Not only is Brian's mom watching, she's forced to watch.
Right.
She doesn't have a choice.
Right.
Which is just wrong. You should, if your mom needs to go do something else, Brian, you should let her go.
Right.
We're not that entertaining.
But hello, Brian's mom. We hope we can entertain your day today. So
just don't bank on it.
Yeah, just don't bank on it.
That's all I'm saying. Just don't bank on it. So we launched a Discord channel a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
It's been super good. I think we're up to like 70 people in there now, right. Which is super good. Thank you all for joining. If you haven't joined yet, let me put the link down here. Let me see. We'll put the banner up here. This is the, hold on, let me fix this first, sorry. So the original link I had to change. Turns out Discord by default, their links last for a day. So, but this one, I had to go in and fix it. So this one is now an infinite link. So you can click on this one. I'm actually going to put it down there in the chat too. So you can click on it as well in chat. You can go join us on Discord if you haven't already, and that'd be cool. You can chat there. And I think a lot of you guys have joined already, and we found some cool stuff from there already.
Yeah,
some stuff we're going to talk about today.
Show something today, yeah. So on Discord.
Yeah,
so if you want to get
cool.
mentioned on the show here, we're going to use Discord for a couple of things. We're going to talk about how we're going to use it and to bring more interactivity up here to our live show.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think you'll have some fun things.
So let's say hey to some people who are here. This is cool. Okay. Arden, who is here, and he thanks for doing the stream, and that's cool. Okay. We only do it because you guys show up. So, yeah. And Adam's here. Now Adam's the admin on Discord. So
the moderator, the mod.
He's the mod. So he's the man. So be nice to Adam.
Yep.
Beth's here too. Hey Beth, welcome back. And obviously Brian's here, and Brian's mom said hey to you guys already. Stehan's here. Yusef's here. Let me see. Glenn's here with a question. Let's talk about Glenn's question.
Yeah.
Laptops: Dell, HP, Lenovo, Asus. You missed Apple. You're missing my brand from this list.
Get out. He's getting a Windows machine for the Coder Foundry. So
okay.
I think
you can do a Mac.
Yeah, you can. It's just more complicated, but I would think that just make sure that you have like 16 gigs of RAM on whatever you get. i7.
I think our spec these days, like it still asks for 8, but 16 is nice.
Yeah, nice.
You'll notice a difference, and the price difference now is not massive. 16 is like the sweet spot.
So if you're going super, super high end, you're going to spend $3,500 to $4,000 on a laptop. Lenovo is the way to roll there. They have the best super high end Windows laptop that I found. I've
never owned a Lenovo laptop.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I know. So my wife has through work, but they're always like, they were the older the IBM ones, the ThinkPad ones, and they changed to Lenovo ThinkPads. And they were good, and they were highly spec'd out, definitely.
Right. Super spec'd out. Dell has great stuff. HP has great stuff. Asus has great stuff.
Yep. Wilfredo's here. MSV's here. Talal's here. Welcome, everybody. That's awesome.
How you doing?
MSV, actually, I meant to tell you about this, and we haven't talked about this before, but Dino, I guess it's Dino, because if you look at the website, it's a little dinosaur as their logo. But this made some news the other day, because I guess the founder of Nodejs has a new language he's launched.
Okay.
So it launched on the 13th, I think. So yesterday, the day before, whatever it was. So we will take a look at that. At some point.
That new language will show up as most in-demand language on a list in about 3 months.
Exactly. It will, 100%. And somebody will put on a job listing, must have 1 year experience.
Yeah.
Like, it came out Wednesday.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
So you will see that. But we will talk about that at some point, because we did see that. Let's see. Who else is here? Andrew's here. Fiona's here. Fiona says, hey, Brian's mom, too. So that's nice.
Yeah, see, Brian's mom is amazing.
Everyone's like Brian's mom.
So
that's cool.
YouTube channel. That's what she's going to have to do.
Exactly. David's back. I think we missed you yesterday, David. I don't know if you were here yesterday. I don't remember seeing you on here yesterday, but that's cool. This guy's back again from Brazil. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking of this, we spoke about Discord, and I created a new channel on Discord right before this. It's a meme channel.
Okay, yeah.
And we created a meme channel because we're gonna put daily memes on here.
Yeah, coder memes though. They got to be in the
coder memes.
Yeah, we
coder memes. So we want to do a daily meme. So we want you guys to go ahead and submit your memes to that channel on Discord, and we'll talk about one here.
Right.
That's the plan. So here's our pick for today. This is actually your pick.
It was my pick today.
So here you go. This was your pick.
So what's funny about this one is you're trying to end a long running task, and then Task Manager can't respond, and that's the way you do it. So if you know anything about Star Wars, I just thought it was funny. Task Manager not responding.
I like it. It's good. It's a Windows joke.
It's a Windows joke. So it's loosely related to coding, right? I mean,
it is. Oh, 100%. Anything techie. So this is your bar. We've set it kind of low to start off with. We don't want to go. We don't want to give you the best yet. We're going to save the best. We want you guys to give us the best ones. But yeah, you wouldn't have this problem on a Mac. So just saying.
Oh, with Finder.
It never doesn't respond. It's always good.
Okay. Yeah,
that's just not true.
Like Macs don't have viruses. That kind of
exactly. It's an urban legend. That's just not true. So submit us one. You know what kind of stuff we like. You know what we're into, and we're gonna choose one and put it up every day, and we can use it as a talking point for something maybe. So yep.
But I will give you a hint though. If you really want one picked, I mean, Star Wars and Marvel is kind of my go-to. So I'll pick one of those. But also look at the content itself and see if it's funny. I mean, I want to laugh. So
yep, definitely.
All right, cool. So we also had something else that happened in Discord. Should we do that real quick?
Yeah. Let's talk about that before we answer some of your guys' questions. If you do have questions, put them in chat, and we will answer them as we go.
Yeah.
And just this real quick. Any moderator for YouTube chat? There's a bot. But I just put draft in timeout for a minute because he was spamming the channel. So
the reason Nightbot's asleep right now. He did.
The bot should have caught that. I don't know why it didn't. So maybe I have to look at that. But I'll fix that.
Derek, that's what it is.
Fix that. But if you, Derek. it's just out to get Derek. I think that's funny. That's all we set it up for, Derek. It actually doesn't do anything else.
It just looks
just to target you.
So
yes. So somebody here sent me a message in Discord.
Yeah.
Actually, they put in the regular channel there, Thorson, who is Chris Butler here.
Yes.
But he's Thorson on our Discord channel. He created a game. So
Unity.
As soon as I saw it in Unity, I'm like, I got to play this game. So of course we jumped right on it. And here's Chris.
Chris is there.
Harry.
Chris, we're going to show your game, Chris.
So Chris made this game, and it's super cool. I like this game.
AAA. I think this is AAA, though. I think this is ready to take Destiny down.
It's ready for the big time.
Yeah, I think so.
Let me share it here, and you can see it. And you can watch me play a game, which is really bad because I'm really not good at it. Actually, I'll go as far as to say I'm terrible at it. So yeah, check this out. It's this cool, you move around and you're a tank guy. I think we've all seen this game before. It's an old school game, and you can shoot.
Old school game, yeah.
And I'm really bad at it, and I always miss. Or look, and I get hit. Look, I don't think you can hear the sounds, can you? There's
no, that's right. You can
sounds too.
You can show your sounds. It's got sounds. Yeah.
Yeah. You can ride around this thing, and it's fun. This thing's fun. So he put this in the messaging there, so you guys can go ahead and play this. And it's really easy to use too. It's WASD keys, and you can move around. I'm just not good at it.
Right.
See, I keep getting shot, and that's it. I'm dead.
Yeah. So Chris, we're gonna go ahead and project manage your game here. So since we're gonna release it tomorrow, we want to go to market tomorrow. We were looking at multiplayer support and matchmaking. So specifically skill-based matchmaking. So,
we don't want any kind of matchmaking. If you can put AI in it, like if you can have them be a little more like, can they like chase me around? Like, is there more AI in it? I don't know. I think that's funny. So there you go. Chris said he created this in 4.5 hours too.
4.5 hours about drinking
Bordeaux. Card Bordeaux? I don't know what card Bordeaux is. Is that from the box? Is that what you're saying?
Is that what it is?
Is that boxed wine? It's the good stuff. It's the good stuff. That's funny. That's funny. It's cool.
I made a roller bar game, like a marble game in Unity. So
did you? Okay.
I've lost it since then, but I made one.
So, you have to remake it. Maybe we can play that too.
Yeah.
So if you guys do make games, send them. We'll definitely play them. I'll definitely play them.
Yeah. If you put matchmaking in it, me and Kevin will go head to head in the tank game.
100%. Then I'll practice. then it's on.
It's hard, man.
So I did play it on I got an ultra wide monitor too, and I was playing it on that before, and it actually works too. When you go full screen, it worked ultra wide. So I think it's a 37-inch ultra wide. It looked really good on there. I was like, this is fun. I like this game. It looked good. So awesome job, Chris. I like it.
Yeah, Chris. So what's cool about Unity is Derek got a high score of 50. Come at me. I've played. Derek's good at every video game. He's really good. We don't want that. So
yeah, we don't want good people playing against us. Derek. we want people we can beat. Any small children here? We're open to any kind of fight with small children.
So someone we could dominate. So
exactly. That's funny. So yeah, everyone likes your game, Chris. That's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Very fun.
I think it shows. I think what you did, Chris, is showing them that what the possibilities are in a short amount of time with Unity. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Pretty neat.
So I'm assuming to build that then in that short amount of time frame, there's a lot of assets that it uses.
Tons
of an engine. Okay.
Yeah, there's an engine, all that stuff. You don't have to worry about the engine. There's a first-person shooter starter. There's a down shooter starter. There's a lot.
So there's like different genres of game starting points.
You can do side scrollers in it, like a Terraria or something like that.
Okay.
So there's a lot of starter packs in it, and then the art on it is pretty good. I mean, like there's a lot of things and some things that you can download and do. We did. I'd have to go dig this one up too. We did a VR game in Unity for a customer to show like how their machines would work. They were making these vending machines for materials. It's like a consumer vending machine. So like if you need like welding parts in this like factory, you would go to the vending machine to go get them, and then it would take them out of inventory and make sure all the costing's right and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And so we had this game they were showing at a trade show that we put out for them, where you had to run through this maze and find the vending machine, and you used a VR helmet to do it. And we built it all in Unity. So
that's awesome.
It worked pretty good. I mean, it was kind of, but given the fact that, Chris, when we were actually doing this, like, what I'm talking about, like they gave us like 3 days to build it, and we it worked pretty good.
Yeah, it was good for. It was good for 3 days.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It's pretty neat.
It was good for 3 days. Here you go, Brian. We can play against Brian. Actually, maybe not. Even though Brian's 12, his reflexes will be way, way, way better than mine are.
What's your KD, man? We need to know your KD. So.
Yeah, what you get exactly? What's your game? What's your KD? Because if it's above 1, I'm out.
Yeah.
If you're better than 500, if you're killing more than you're dying,
yeah,
you're gonna be too good for me. That's funny. Okay. But Fiona says she's the worst, so it's on. Yeah.
That's when you remove Fiona and then just tank battle. So,
maybe we'll put a gaming channel up on the Discord too at some point. So if we're bored on a weekend, you can game with us or something. I have my PC's on the way, so once it gets here, I'll be gaming on the weekends. So
multiplayer support in Unity has changed a lot in the last year. So like supposedly it's a lot better.
Okay.
So I think that's pretty good.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, Chris has loads of assets to start from. Super friendly. Here you go. Adam says Cities, Skylines, AAA games started as a template in Unity.
100%, man. I guarantee it. There's a bunch of them out there that started that way.
Yeah. Here you go. Chris said Hollow Knight too, made in Unity.
Yeah.
Speaking of game engines though, too, did you watch the video yet for Unreal Engine 5? running on a PS5.
Yeah.
Did you see that? If you guys haven't seen that, go check it out. It's unbelievable.
Unreal 5.
I mean, it's almost realistic looking. The light and stuff. It was very, very impressive. Yeah, on a PS5 too, not a $10,000 PC. on a potential $500 gaming machine.
Right.
It's impressive.
Also, MSV has a question for you, Kevin, down at the bottom. He wants to know what your game is. Now I want to know what your game is.
I've been playing. So, yeah, yours is definitely Destiny. So I'll play one thing at any point in time. Right now, I'm playing Call of Duty Warzone.
Okay.
I don't like regular Call of Duty, but Call of Duty Warzone is fun. It's 150 players dropping into a big map. It's fun. That's what I'm playing on an Xbox, but I'm going to play it on PC soon when my new machine arrives.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's my favorite game. I don't know. I have a favorate game.
Right now,
the older Call of Duties were good.
I'm jamming Destiny, and I think it's funny if you've been keeping up with Destiny. So there's this thing that happened in Destiny, and we'll get on to what we're going to do. But like, Destiny came out, and there's the new quest to get this gun called the Fellwinter's Lie, and the name of the quest is called The Lie. And so for this whole season, we've been doing these certain like repetitive tasks over and over again. And they said that the lie was now we had to do this same task 9 million times as a community, not facetious.
Oh wow!
Actually, 9 million times.
Wow.
Everyone came out and said, the lie was that we were actually going to do this. And so like the community revolted. I don't think they're going to do it. And so now Bungie's come back and said, well, we're going to make that a little easier. So
that's crazy.
So anyway, it's kind of funny.
The power of the community, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Sounds like any CSGO players. I'll play that. I played the old, so I'm old enough to play the original Counter-Strike.
Okay.
When it was out, and I had a PC that I was playing original Counter-Strike on. I haven't played CSGO or CSGO, but I will when my new PC comes. And I've been in the gulag. No, I don't go in the gulag, Raphael. I don't have to. I spend a lot of time in the gulag. That's bad. It's basically when you die
and you go one-on-one.
You get a chance to come back one-on-one, and I suck at it.
Right.
So I need a big open space where I'm not going to get shot. And I can shoot people in the back. Exactly. And we both play Xbox. Both play Xbox. I have a PlayStation, but I don't really use it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be PC soon for me. There we go. Andrew's World. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Thanks for the question. Let's get on topic.
Yeah.
What language would you recommend learning after C#?
What do you want to do? I'm curious, Andrew. What do you want to do? Like, what's your goal? Like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, you have to, and we talk about this a lot. You have to align your goal with the language that you're going to choose. Otherwise, there's no real. If you're not going to do something with it, it's learning it for learning's sake. It's not going to get you anywhere.
Yeah, I think it has to lead to a project or lead to a job. And then once you figure out what you want to build, then you'll figure out what stack you want to learn after that. But just remember, learning C# is could be a lifelong endeavor as you keep learning more and building things. So, yeah,
would you say you learn new things with C# all the time? Is that a constant thing? If you need something, you just I need to know how to do that, so you'll go and learn it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say you know everything about C#, right?
No, I don't. I don't think there's a way. I mean, there's probably somebody out there that has a good bit of knowledge on it, but
right,
always new things coming out that you didn't know how to do.
Yep.
So, but it's super versatile, so you can build whatever you want. So.
Yep, definitely.
So I saw someone in the comments said the Q&A hasn't started yet. So we're we're talking about
we're getting there. You guys can post your questions in there, and if I've skipped over it, post it again because I may have missed it too.
Yeah.
So just that's the chat does scroll kind of quick sometimes. I try and get to stuff, but I try and keep it on topic too. So yeah, and I'll generally jump off topic sometimes too.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here you go. Here's a question for you. Next rank. With the good questions, just like yesterday. Would you advise people who want to become professional coders to start with the basics of front-end development, web technologies, or the basics of programming, memory, data types, etc.?
So I think ultimately you're going to be asked to do, if you're doing web development, you're going to be asked to do the front-end stuff. That's where I would start. I would learn JavaScript, HTML, CSS first. Then I would learn a system language like C# or Java on the back end. And then you can study up on memory, data types, structures, algorithms, all that kind of thing. But build a project that you can show someone that you know how to do it. Ultimately, when you're on the job, algorithm training isn't going to help you on the job per se. What you're doing is building an application based on the specifications given. So project work will help you more get there quicker. Doesn't mean those things aren't important. Doesn't mean those things aren't useful. But understanding memory, data types, and stuff is cool. Definitely. But you can acquire that knowledge as you go after you're being paid to code. That's just my opinion.
Right.
I think you should build a project, show it to somebody, get hired, and learn everything that you want to learn after that.
Yep. Here you go. Yusuf has a question. Thanks for the question. For full stack, should I go with C# or Node.js in the back end?
Depends on your area, where you're from, and where the jobs are. We think ASP.NET, MVC, Razor Pages with C# is the way to go. That's what we teach at the boot camp. That's what we continue to find people jobs with here in the U.S. But Node.js is also in demand with something like React or Angular. So I think any of those things will work. I think if you're asking me, I'd go with C# because once you know C#, you can build desktop, you can build, Unity game, make a sweet tank battle game.
That would be awesome.
Like
Hold on. People started posting memes already. So I got to share this one with you.
Okay. Oh, man.
I love it. If somebody can make this happen and just
that would be amazing. I would wear
that'd be super cool. The Bobby Chucks.
The only thing is that they're not orange. So like if you got to make them orange.
If you'll go back and fix that meme, that'd be awesome.
Sweet.
No, that's super good.
Orange, or black would be kind of cool. That's funny.
There you go. We got some Bobby Chucks. The sponsorship deal's on the table.
That's it. Converse is Converse. So
that's funny. What about this? We think about hacking games in C#. I'm not sure what that means, like hacking a game in C# or actually.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Is hacking games a thing, or are we talking about hacking a game? You should be hacking a game. That's not good.
No, don't do that, man. Because aimbots.
Because that would suck.
Duty. That sucks.
There's aimbots there are on PC version of Warzone, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Because you have to play crossplay too on the free version, so you have to play with PC players on the Xbox. It's not fun.
It's just aimbot.
It's not fun. You don't have to cheat. Yeah, it's not fun. But I don't know if that's what that means or not.
Yeah.
Why do you think C# is better for learning than Java? Or do you think that?
So here's Dominic. I think you have to pick one. So a lot of times our advice is you got to pick something. A lot of people want to pick what they struggle with the decision to pick the best thing. They struggle with the decision where they're always kind of like fracturing all their learning. What we talk about a lot of times is picking one thing and learn how to do that. And the one thing starts with the job. So you pick a job like full stack web development, and then that pretty much puts you into a camp of like, what are the stacks out there most in demand? And we think C# is in super high demand, and full stack Java, we feel like it's maybe in less demand, but overseas, that may not be the case. It may be.
Okay, that's where we are.
Yeah. So that I think that's what we think. And so our advice is based on what we think we can get your job with, which is ASP.NET and C#. I would say that if you're learning Java or C#, you're going to be well served by either one. Pick one, learn it, learn how to build websites with Java. And then also with Java, obviously you can build mobile apps. With C#, obviously you can build mobile apps, you can build desktop. But I think primarily desktop is dominated by C# with Microsoft because they own Windows. So like MS, like WPF and or WinForms is kind of the way it's being done right now. But doesn't mean you can't build stuff with Java. You can. So pick one and learn it all the way through. And so, but I think C# is better. But it's backed by Microsoft and it's so versatile. So that's why I like it. So
here we go. Tech with Esteban. Yeah, but you have a YouTube channel, Tech with Esteban. Sounds like a YouTube channel name.
Yeah.
If you do, let me know. And we'll take a look at it.
We'll take a look at it.
Based off your experience building different projects, what do you tend to prefer? More on the front end, mobile apps or web apps?
Oh, what do I prefer more?
Yeah.
I don't know. I do it all. So like,
Surely it depends on the project, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the stuff that I'm showing you see me do on YouTube is because we have to like make it simple. And so that tends to lean towards more front end type things because I find that simpler to do, easier to show. Showing you a really cool thing in the C# backend isn't as interesting on YouTube. So like,
right.
the visual things, I tend to go to the visual side because they're easier to show and show what I'm doing. Working on a enterprise mobile app right now that I like. I'm really excited about. Hopefully we'll be able to announce that in the summer. You'll see what we're doing there. We're doing that at a company level though, so there's more people coding on it than just me. So I think that's kind of cool. But I definitely build, like I look at web apps a lot, look at mobile apps, I look at front end, I don't know. I also lean towards the creative side. So, even with the video editing side and things like that, I like doing that as well. So there's a lot of things that I'm like really interested in. So hopefully that answers tech with Esteban.
Here we go. We haven't had a chance to look at this yet, but we will. I talked about this at the very beginning. We'll take a look at Dino and see what that is.
It's brand new. It came out 2 weeks ago.
It's brand new. Yeah. It was like yesterday, I think, was the official release. Well, hold on. 1.0 came out yesterday. I'm sure there was an alpha or beta before that. But it made like big news everywhere. So we'll take a look at it. And it's a JavaScript thing, I guess. I don't know if it's a competitor to Node, but I think it's a backend.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to go look at it.
Yeah. I looked at it real quick yesterday, but I didn't really spend too much time on it. Beth said, would you think the growing trend towards remote/distributed teams helps mitigate ageism? Honestly, number 2 fear in applying to Coder Foundry. What's your number 1, Beth? Put your number 1 down. We were talking about this morning.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were literally talking about this an hour ago, 2 hours ago.
Yeah. The best thing that's going to mitigate ageism is project work. That is the number 1 thing. So if you can bring projects to bear, then you can do it. The second thing is, if you're older, are you willing to start over? Are you willing to work in the cubicle and be a junior dev? If you're honestly just career switching and you haven't really done anything in tech, are you willing to do that? So, remote or distributed teams, they still got to hire you. It doesn't really matter if you're sitting in the office or out of the office. I honestly think that sitting in the office, if that ever comes back again, helps you because you can be more close contact with people that can give you help when you're a junior dev. But project work is the best thing that you can do to overcome an ageism in an interview. So if you can show something to somebody, they're more likely to hire you.
And also your background will come into it too. Whatever your background is, when your order is going to come in, like what's your work history? Like what have you done before? What industries have you been in? We had a lady 2 cohorts ago that was 58, I think. Yeah. 58.
She had a math background.
Yep.
She'd done RPG 20 years ago, COBOL. Yeah. So like a lot of things that she learned in Coder Foundry were new to her. So, but it's just, you have to be committed to it. So
Beth's number 1 fear, by the way. Can I really do this? Really?
So Beth, I mean, if you apply, I have to go look. I haven't looked back at our board yet to see who's all in there. I think we're up to 13 now. We're closing in our 30 mark. We had
we have like 70 apps.
70 or so apps right now, 3 months away. But the only thing I can tell you is, can I really do this? Is if you feel like you really can, then you should try. And then the first 2 weeks, you get it out at Coder Foundry if you find out that it's not something you can really do.
Yep.
It's hard for us to answer that for you because a lot of this comes with grit, commitment to craft, things that you're willing to put in the extra effort to really kind of understand this. So,
yep.
But we're never too old to learn anything new. I can promise you that. So, cool. I like it, man.
Let me see. Nightbot's going wild. Look here. It's telling people to quit spamming. And Adam's getting mad at it. Look.
Yes.
Nightbot's
probably doesn't understand Adam as a moderator. So like, you have to have a war for
Nightbot's going wild.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
I like this one right here. I'm gonna push this one up.
Put it up.
I'm assuming you're talking about active server pages on Android, and my gut feeling is no. I'm sure someone's done it. So, like, my question is why? I would want to know why you want to do that. Basically, with .NET Core, you can launch your app as a container and push it anywhere. But Android, I'm not sure what you're wanting to do there. I would be.
Did you have a story about a teacher running a server on an iPad?
Yeah, they were doing.
And you asked why, and like there was no real answer.
No answer.
Because you can.
You know, I think they put something like Tomcat or something on iPad.
Okay.
So it's like, it's not a web server, man. It'll never be fast. It'll always be slow. It'll never be great. So like if you're trying to like serve something up from an Android device so you can plug to the internet and serve up web pages, there's other ways to do that than Android. So, but I'm sure there's some other types of web servers that run on Android, but they may not support .NET or active server pages. I'd have to just look and see what the low powered requirements are.
Right. James Higgs. I don't recognize your name, James. So thanks for joining us here. We appreciate it. He's an IS master's student studying C# in his free time. Should I use my free time to pick up some computer science electives at university, or rather focus my free energy on getting proficient at C#?
I don't know what those electives are. Do you find them interesting? Do they help you get a job? You're going to have build that skill set around C#, and that's what I think you can be doing. So would those electives help you with your master's degree? Probably not. It doesn't sound like. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Right.
Graduate with your master's and learn to code as much as you can on the side is what I would do.
Right.
So your master's, think about this, James. Your master's is something you're going to use to get you in your first job. You're going to hang it on your wall. It's cool. It's great. It's a great accomplishment. But like your second and third jobs, they're not as much worried about your master's as they are what you did last week. So getting proficient at C# is probably what I would focus on, and just get through my master's program.
Yep. Here you go. Steen's asking, is Node, Java, Spring, and Django as powerful as .NET? Surely that's a subjective question, isn't it?
Subjective. So you can build anything with anything. So, you know.
Yeah.
Depends on what you want to do, man. I don't know what you're trying to build. I mean, like, it's all subjective. It's technically, if you looked at compile times, C#, does it run faster than, say, something on Node? Probably. For most cases, does it matter? No, because it's fast enough to do mostly what you're trying to do on a website. Could you run into like a multi-threaded issue that can be solved with .NET? Yeah. Again, most websites don't have that problem. So I would look at what's in demand more than what's technically fastest or powerful. You can build anything with anything. So.
Yep. Ooh, good question, David. Here you go. Can you tell me about a time when you had to work with a difficult person to accomplish a goal? What was the biggest challenge? How did you handle it?
I have to take the fifth on some of these.
It's like be selective over some of these. Because everyone that comes to your mind, you're like, I can't tell that story.
No,
I can't tell that story.
So in general,
you're like, oh, I have an NDA for that story. I can't tell you.
I have an NDA for that. Like, so like in general, what I think is when I'm trying to accomplish a goal, I look at the goal first and not necessarily the person. And a lot of times you have to work around difficult people and not with them. And so you just have to accomplish the goal in another way. And I try to treat everyone with kindness and respect. That's kind of my goal. So, but sometimes you have to like work around them and not with them, because otherwise you're not going to win. So, and so like, you usually sometimes, especially if you're in a peer relationship. So like it's someone that it's a peer and you need them to accomplish a goal, and then they're just not going to do it or not going to work with you, or you just work around them. Yeah. And so that means that you may have to do more work. Right. But And so you have to be willing to accept that. And then if that causes the relationship to be severed, then you have to do that. But ultimately, try to work around when they just won't work with you. So talk to them about it, and don't be passive aggressive and say, hey man, let's work together on this. And if you can't get that done, then you have to still accomplish your goals, and which means that you may have to do all the work. So, and you have to be good with that.
There's a question again about Dino. We need to look up this Dino thing. We're definitely looking it up later, we promise. But we haven't
it's going to be the most in-demand language. You'll see Stack Overflow list next week.
It will. Number one.
Yeah.
Top of the list straight away. Given that .NET 5 will soon be released, do you think that C# now has a chance to surpass Java in the next coming years?
Like it hasn't? I mean...
Depends on your location, doesn't it? It's certainly in some locations it already has, but in others it hasn't.
So again, you can make a list about anything, and you can say Java is more popular than C#, and you'll see some languages, some lists that say C# is more popular. People like to make these top 10 lists or the top 5 lists. C# is going to be around for the foreseeable future, and it's more than .NET 5. It is what Microsoft has committed to rolling out. So I think Java could be less in use because on the mobile platforms, Google is going in a different direction. And so when you look at Java as a language in use, a lot of it comes from Android development. And if Android development moves to Kotlin or Dart or something like that, then Java will have less use, but it'll still be in use. I mean, like, it's not going anywhere. Neither one of them are going anywhere. So .NET 5 is really big, though. It's really cool what they're achieving to do. So I think that you can make a living on either one. So like if you're out in somewhere else other than the US, I mean, there's a lot of people, when we talk to people a lot around the world here on the YouTube channel, they're telling me that Java is still in high demand in where they're at. I can't debate that. I can't talk about it. Hence the reason why, one of the reasons why we don't want to open our boot camp open to the world, like outside the US, is because we don't know every job market there is, and we're trying to train people to get jobs, and so we don't want to give them a bad advice.
Yeah, we want to teach them a stack that's not in demand where they are. That would be useless.
I mean, there are two of these, like 3 primary languages out there: JavaScript, C# and Java. Those are the big ones out there. And yes, there's Kotlin, there's Rust, there's all these other languages too. But if you're looking at full stack web development, C# is a good way to go. But you can definitely do it on Java Spring too. And you can do it in Node.js. Yeah.
Youssef, thank you for the question. What would be the pay range for an entry-level web dev in the US with React in front end and Node.js in the back end? We don't necessarily know those technologies like personal experience, because obviously we're placing developers that are in C# on the back end, but I assume it would be similar.
Southeast, North Carolina, I think, and depending on, let's say that you're just totally entry level, and you've got the only thing you guys coming out of a boot camp, you can expect somewhere between 40 and 60K, with a 3-year range of moving to 100K within 3 to 5 years in the US. Easy. If you're in San Francisco, it's higher, but the cost of living is much higher in San Francisco.
It's much higher.
Texas, it could be higher if you're in one of the big economies like Houston or Dallas. So it's like, even so, I know that people would scream at me like 50 sounds terrible. Not really. When you look at, if you don't have any prospects going forward and you're breaking into your first job, I don't worry about the salary on my first job. I try to get that on my third job. And so you're looking at this as a path to like 100K, making over 100K in the US. Can be easily done as a full stack web dev in 3 to 5 years. But you got to get that first one, which means that you shouldn't hold out 8 months saying I'm only going to work for 70K. You should take the first job, get experience, and then move, jump up, move again, jump up again, and you'll get to where you want to be.
Yeah, it's that first one though. It is hard to get.
Yeah.
It's the hardest. It's the hardest one to get.
The hardest one. Yeah.
Yep.
That's something right here. She's got. Yep, 50K better than 0 all day long.
It is. It definitely is.
We have people, Beth, that come through the boot camp that are just more choosy, and we don't understand that. We're trying to convince them that your first job isn't your last job, and you should take the job, even though it's lower than you anticipated coming out. Maybe it's 41K or something like that, and you're like, man, I'm worth more than that. And that could be technically true, but you take the first one so that you can get paid. And then 6 months to 1 year later, I promise you, you'll get to where you want to be. So that's just kind of how it works.
Yep. Let me see. Oh, here's a good question. Dilo, when should I go to an interview? How long should I wait? I'm guessing this is a question about if you're still learning and how much should you learn. I'm going to take it that way.
Yeah, I would interview as quick as I can if you think you can do it. And then how you know if you can do it if you're building projects. And that's why we say get out tutorials as quick as you can, move on to getting a project built. And then when you have a project built, you can feel more confident that I can build a project. And then I wouldn't wait forever because someone may turn you down. Well, yeah, you're going to interview 30 times and get turned down 29 times. So you just need one yes. So like you got to be brave, be confident in what you can do, and how you build confidence is build projects. You know, put them on your resume.
There you go. Here's a related point too. Fiona says she's a real beginner, but had a few phone and interviews. So that was brave. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Horrifically scary, but all good experience. Exactly. The worst they're going to say is like, no, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, especially in the US, I think, I can't speak for anywhere else around the world. For the most part, no one's going to call you stupid on the phone. I mean, there are some interviewers that are just horrifically bad people, and that's what they want to do. Want to push you down, but like you got to like move on from a turn down and keep doing it. So and then you just keep improving your skills. So when you're a beginner, Fiona, and you've had a couple of phone interviews, what I encourage you to do is write down every one of those questions they asked you and go back and make sure you can answer those questions, because all the questions are similar most of the times. They're going to ask them over and over again. So there's a group think among interviewing, and they go in stages, where it's all whiteboard and it's all reverse a string, or it's all this or that. So look at those questions they ask you, write them down, and learn how to answer them. And the best way to answer a question, Fiona, is with code that you've written. So if someone asks you what, inheritance is, then you should be able to explain what inheritance is from an academic answer, and then move into, I used inheritance on my coding project, and here's how I used it. Here's a class that I inherited and made another class, something like that. So hopefully that makes sense.
Cool. Let me see. I saw another good one here somewhere. What do I do with it? Here we go. Blake, thanks for the question. We appreciate it. Thanks for joining us. Should you learn multiple backend languages, just focus on one and master it?
Focus on one and master it. Yes, and I think there's two really, C# and Java. I would learn C#, but like depending on where you're at, Java may be more ready, more jobs available in your area. But yes, learn one backend language and master it. And mastering is a technical term. You should be proficient in, is like the word I use.
Right.
Like you should be able to code anything in it with enough time and Googling. So you're never memorize the whole thing. So I don't think you need to wait till you're a master of C# before you apply either. You should be proficient.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's.
There you go, John Murray. Thanks for the comment here. I think this is funny. He's doing an assignment for a coding boot camp. I'm guessing it's an online one, testing with Jasmine. I've not heard of that one. Literally doesn't have a clue, but this is productive procrastination.
Oh,
at least you're on topic watching us, John. I mean, it's it's sort of the same thing. You could be playing a game or watching something useless on YouTube. Exactly. There's plenty of that.
Yeah.
That's funny. Let me see here. There you go. Dominique says Java is more demanding in Switzerland. I think David's in Switzerland too, and I think he said the same thing. So yeah, that's why we don't like. That's why we don't claim that C# is the most popular globally.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's C# roles in.
I'm sure there is.
One too. I mean, just
Yep.
like Java roles. So.
Yep. Your thoughts on getting in the industry with a past felony, focusing on C#, but I know it's more corporate focused. Sometimes I think I should learn PHP to be freelance to avoid, obviously, whatever issues, to avoid the red corporate tape.
So if you got a felony and it's 7 years in the past, it typically won't show on a check,
background check. Yep.
So you can look at that, have a good answer for the felony if it does come up. And then some people don't background check. So
this is true.
Yeah, you can be wrong.
This is definitely true.
So I think there's a lot of things you do. I don't think you give up. I mean, and then PHP for freelance. If you're doing WordPress sites, I mean, you can do that and then do WordPress and enter the freelance market that way.
Yeah, you can. There's a market there for sure.
Freelance with C# though. I mean, like you definitely
you can do that too. Yeah.
So you can self-incorporate, put together a website, and then try to get customers. You can work contracts. There's a lot of things you can do. And have a good answer for that. So let's say that you stole a car. I don't know what you did. Let's say you got Grand Theft Auto. You went up for 5 years. And you're coming out now and you're trying to get a job. And someone says, well, what about this felony? Just talk about it and just say, I made a mistake. This thing's happened. And now I'm trying to like redo some stuff that I wish that I hadn't done. And so like, those are the kind of things you can do it. But I wouldn't bring it up in an interview. I wouldn't proactively say, I've got a felony. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, you want them to bring it up for sure. Yeah.
Let them bring it up. You don't have to
you're right.
About everything you've done wrong in your life.
They might not do a background check or even care. And if they do, chances are they're going to see it and they are going to bring it up.
Yeah.
And that's okay. To get a good answer to it is the way to go.
But you can work with the recruiter, and the recruiter can help you soften the blow to those kind of people. And they may not care. You never know, man. I mean, you may be interviewing someone who also he had a past felony or had a mistake, or
Yeah. No, that's true.
Skeletons, man. We all have skeletons,
That's true.
You in jail, but like we all have like things that we wish we could have changed.
That person may be more likely to lean towards you in that case.
Yeah, exactly.
They may want to give you more of a chance. Like that could happen too. Yeah, definitely don't give up on it.
So we got a guest in the green
We
room.
do. We have a guest down here in the green room. We have our friend Alex Lee back again.
Yeah, from Tech.
Alex has a question. You ready to go, Alex? Well, let me add you in here.
Cool. What's up, Alex?
Hey, how are you guys doing? Does this mic work?
Yes,
it does.
Sweet.
I like it.
It's like you're like TV roving reporter.
I know. I just found this in the garage somewhere and then started using it. It was working nicely with my upcoming videos.
That's funny. We do that sometimes. We'll find an old piece of equipment and be like, we should use that.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we're more official. I could ask you more like, hey, official questions here.
Sure.
That's awesome.
I just had a quick question about just boot camps in general. Like when I first started, there weren't as many choices. So like research was obviously a lot easier.
Right.
But now that there are so many, sometimes it's kind of like the same concept as coding. It's like there's so many ways to do the same thing.
Right.
But specific for boot camps, like you hear about success stories and horror stories.
Yep.
Do you have any advice for those that are looking into a boot camp, and what kind of research or questions should they ask the boot camps themselves?
Okay, so like obviously we're biased. We're on a boot camp, so we answer those questions every single day. And so the way that I think you should look at is, what am I going to learn, and am I going to build projects? I think that regardless if you go to Coder Foundry or some of the other bigger boot camps out there, you need to walk away with something that you can show to an employer. So I would look at like a sample portfolio that other students have built and sample projects. And so like, can you show me what I'm going to build? So it's so funny. Like we would buy a car, but we want to look at the car and drive it around, but we'll enter you a boot camp and we won't even ask what we're trying to build. So like, just figure out what you're trying to build. The second thing that I think is important is stack. Like, what am I going to learn? And then, so if I'm going to learn full stack JavaScript, there's a boot camp in New York, full stack. They teach full stack JavaScript. Look at what's out there in the marketplace for that. Obviously, that exists. It's obviously a thing. You went to a boot camp. They taught you something. You walked away with a portfolio, I'm assuming, right? Is that where you walked away with one or of some sort? Did it help you get a job?
Right.
You built the boot camp?
Yeah, I mean, it was similar to what you guys were talking about, like the showcasing. So we had employers come to our campus and we explain our project and what part of the project that we contributed in. And because it wasn't like a solo project, it was I think like a 2 to 3 person project working on one project, and you have defined roles and you explain what part you worked on.
Okay, cool. And so I think that's building projects is the biggest thing that I think can get you in the industry. However you do that, whether you go to boot camp or not. If the boot camp is all like tutorial based, run for the hills, because you're going to end up leaving that boot camp and trying to build projects after that. And it probably won't necessarily lead into a job. Job placement is important from the boot camp, but you can actually accomplish that with the recruiters. So like build a relationship with something like Tech Systems or Robert Half or somebody like that. So even if they suck at recruiting, you can actually augment that with another tech, like a Tech Systems or a recruiting firm. So
do you think it would be fair to ask as a prospective student to say like how many years of experience do your instructors have and things like that?
Yeah, I think so. That's fair. I mean, like,
because
like
No, I was gonna say, because it's very hard to know if your curriculum is very tutorial based until you actually start the course.
Yeah.
So, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I think speaking with former students too can help with that.
Yeah.
And asking what experience the instructor have for sure, because you don't necessarily always want all of your instructors, especially your lead instructor, to be the guy that just finished the boot camp last week.
Right.
Because that we've seen that. And it's been like, that doesn't work very well.
Right.
It works very well to have an instructor that's done the boot camp recently, but isn't your lead instructor. Yeah. That works because it's somebody who's just gone through the experience, and it's like it works. But you also need your instructors to have field experience.
Right.
And
then some people are good teachers, and so like they can work at a boot camp, and they may not have like 10 years of experience, but they're really good at instruction. And so you might see that too, where they're a really good instructor, because a lot of times you go to college, you don't ask them how long they've been doing this in the field. They probably are professional instructors, and they don't necessarily work in the industry. Here at Coder Foundry, the ones that we've hired them out of industry. So that's what we've done.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, because someone could have 10 years of experience and be a horrible instructor. So,
yeah,
it's the opposite work as well.
They're smarter than you every day, and they tell you about it, but they never tell you about it. So there are some bad instructors out there.
That sounds like from experience, Bobby. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I have one last question. Right now, it feels as though coding boot camps have to have some kind of, I guess, after you finish the curriculum, there should be some kind of job placement support. Do you think that in the maybe 10, 20 years from now, that shouldn't be a necessarily a requirement? Because with college, after you graduate, there's no real guarantee that you're going to find a job. But it seems like with coding boot camps, there's like this standard of having to have some kind of job placement with it. And I'm just curious about your thoughts on that.
So I'm in the industry, so I think coding boot camps are held at this like super high standard. We must have like 95% success rates, and we must create our own recruiting companies, and we must be ultra successful. And in college, they're like, you have a big ceremony and they say, see you later. And they never talk to you again, except when they want you to donate back to the college. And that's the only time they call you is when they're asking for money. So like, there has to be like a middle ground. But yeah, I think every boot camp should have at least a relationship with a recruiting company. If you're not going to do it, that you can at least bring in a recruiting company to help the students with job placement. Right. ISAs is changing that too. So we have probably 80% of our students are on ISAs, which is income share agreement. And so it's in our and theirs best interest for us to build a recruiting firm to get them a job so that we can actually get paid for teaching.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I did say it was last question, but my serious last question. For your guys' courses, how often are you guys adjusting to the current market and desires and needs? Because I think one of the things that I always talk about with my friends of why I recommend coding boot camps is you could always change the curriculum.
Yeah.
to whatever the employers need. But with college, there's a bit of red tape. They only want to stick with a very like approved curriculum. And I was just curious, how often, if any, do you guys change your curriculum?
Change it quite a bit. Like we're looking at projects, coding challenges quite a bit. The language that we've been doing has been the same for the last since 2014 MVC. But when Core came out, we thought we were going to go to Core, but we decided not to because .NET 5 was going to be 12 months later. So we allowed Microsoft to go ahead and go do what you're going to do with Core. When you standardize, we'll adopt .NET 5. So we'll adopt .NET 5 later in the year, as soon as it becomes stable. The other thing is being a little bit of a lag on certain things isn't bad because the industry hasn't moved on yet. So like MVC 5 is still like used a whole lot. And so like when you go out and in the job, you're more likely to run into an MVC 5 project than a .NET Core project right now. But as those projects get rewritten or moved over, then you got to make sure that the boot camp is aligned with what industry wants. And so how we do that is when we're trying to place people, we're looking at what people are asking for. So.
Plus, we do have, on a slightly related note too, we are governed by the state community college board too.
Yeah.
So there's that too. So we do act like a community college. So there is criteria around curriculum, that kind of stuff too. Right. The core generally has to stay the same. We adapt as we go. So it's similar.
We rolled .NET 5 out. We got to recertify the course, which is fine.
Yeah.
We can do that. It's no big deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there is still some red tape even for a boot camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the Wild West.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair point because I feel that there's a lot of debate. Even though I was just laughing about the Dino questions, and it's like, yeah, you could learn it, but are you going to get a job? They're not looking for 10 years Dino experienced developers.
Maybe next week they are.
Yeah, maybe next week. So no, but all right. Thanks for answering all my questions. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
That's awesome.
See
Thanks
you,
for coming on. Thanks, Alex. Take care.
Super good. Cool.
Yep. You can check out Alex's channels too. He has Tech Rally on YouTube, so you can go check out his videos. He posted one of the videos in our Discord channel too, so you can go check that out as well. That's super cool.
Got any other questions real quick? I'm going to get this one up here.
We have a bunch of questions here.
So let's say you're going to college and all your content is in Java. That's what he's asking. But I'm interested in learning C#. What should I do? I would say learn. You can dedicate your time to learning Java, and hopefully you're learning web application development. And so you can still learn Java and still get a job. But I wouldn't like try to learn C# and Java at the same time. So that's just
right.
But if you got plenty of time, you can't learn enough. But I don't want you to distract from you're paying to go to college. Make sure that you pass that and get it, and you can break out with Java, and maybe you can build a project in C# after you graduate, something like that. So understand there's a lot of things that you want to learn.
Here you go, Yusef. Worked as a tech recruiter for 4 months in the US market, and we've seen this before.
Yes, we've had
people come to the boot camp that are recruiters. Now getting into tech myself, think it will help me handle recruiters for my best. Guaranteed it will.
Well, so what I say is don't be mean to recruiters. I don't know why our industry in general has this hate relationship for recruiters.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't. I mean, the recruiter is just trying to find you a job, and they get paid if they find you one. So they have a role to play. You have a role to play. If you build a good relationship with recruiters, it's just going to make you more successful in the long run. So try to don't hate them so much. Yes, they'll ghost you when they don't have nothing, but do you want them to call you when there is nothing? I mean, so it's kind of like a relationship that you build out, that you can have a professional relationship that's friendly, but you talk when each of you have a need. So, I think it's okay. I mean, I built relationship with recruiters, and I still know some recruiters now when I'm on the other side. And we remember when we brought Tech Systems in to talk to students. One of the guys there knew me from when I was contracting.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like small world, right?
I mean, but we had a good relationship, and I think that's the way you should aspire to be. I think in general, here's my life advice: build bridges, don't burn them. And so you never know. That tech recruiter may go on to be a director of information technology somewhere.
Right.
And we're mean to them. so they won't hire you.
Right. I think the fact that you understand how recruiting works, Yusef, will definitely be in your favor. A lot of people do not understand how it works. They won't engage with the recruiter because they think it's going to cost them something.
Yeah.
It's like it's this common myth, and you understand that's not how it works.
Use them, it's cool because it's a lot like professional athletes, man. You have this person that's going to go find you roles.
It's a free service somebody else pays for.
Do anything. You just show up and win an interview.
Yep.
They keep you employed. I think it's a good win-win relationship for everybody.
Definitely. Here we go. Let's ask Arnie's question here. Is WinForms a good idea to learn? What's the best next step after you learn C#?
Yeah, WinForms is good. WPF is probably going to be more in demand going forward. But if you want to build Windows applications and that's something that's big in your area, it's good.
Is WinForms the older technology then? Yeah, WPF's the newer? Okay.
WPF has a XAML markup, and WinForms is WinForms. So it was built specifically for Windows. WPF is more cross-platform. I do think I'm going to say something, and I'm not 100% sure on this. I haven't seen a good thing on this. I think WinForms is going to be cross-platform. I think the designer is going to come, but I haven't looked at it close enough to really make a good idea on that. You can go read and make sure what Microsoft's saying is true. WPF is more cross-platform, and you just build the front ends differently, and then you both use C# on the back end of it to code it up. So WinForms had this like GUI drop designer.
Okay.
So you could drag a button on it, but the problem with WinForms was it always looked what we call battleship gray, because it was like this.
Oh yeah, because I know what you mean.
The same way WPF allowed you to bring more creativity to a Windows app.
Okay.
Control more on the front end.
Interesting. Here we go. Niggermind. Thank you for the question. How much time will it take to become a full stack developer?
So tell me when you build a project that's full stack and tell me how long that took you to get there. That's how long it'll take.
There you go. Because it is different for everybody. There's no one answer to that.
Build a project, though. Try to understand how to build a project and know that project inside and out. And then if you can do that, then you're a full stack developer. If you go to a boot camp, we can do that in 12 weeks. If you do that online by yourself, it may take a little bit longer. If you go to college, it may take 2 to 4 years. So it depends on how you're learning and what you're doing. If you're doing it on your own, it may take a year to get to that point because you got to do it by yourself.
Okay, here's a good question for you. It's more on the business side of things. Graduate this year with a computer science engineer degree. Worked on full stack web dev and some basic data science projects. Wants to start his own startup, but unable to find a roadmap.
So your startup,
this is where a mentor might help.
Yeah. So you need to talk to someone who started a company. So I'm going to judge by your name that you're somewhere overseas, potentially India or something like that. I don't know what the startup environment is like in those countries. In the US, you can literally just incorporate and create your company. I'm not sure how that works in those other countries.
Yeah, you need to figure out somebody who's already done it, right? Yeah, somebody who's paved the path for you.
Yeah, so a startup you can't just make a startup. You got to have some kind of idea of what your product is and how you're going to roll that out in the marketplace. So I've started a lot of things here. So in general, first off, you have your idea, and then you need to validate your market. So in other words, who would buy this thing? And then you need to find out how many people would buy it. And then you take that total market, look at a 5 to 10% success rate and see if that's enough to start a company. So if you build something that potentially 1 million people would buy, just realize that you're going to be 5 to 10% successful with any given marketing effort. And so you need to be able to make it on that, 50,000 customer base. Can you do that? And can I charge enough to do that? Or if it's 20 people, can I make enough money to do that and start the company that way? And that's your roadmap. So you need to validate, come with your idea, get to MVP, what we call minimum viable product, as quick as possible, validate the market, figure out how much you're going to do it, and then look at what is my really kind of big market capitalization is what we call it here. What's the market cap for this particular product?
and then get somebody to invest.
If you can, and if you can't, then you just roll it up and you just bootstrap the whole thing and work a lot on the weekends and sell it when you can and roll it out as fast as you can till you get to where it pays you full time. So
okay, let's do a couple more because we're a little bit over. I didn't even notice the time. So let's do this one actually. What kind of project should I be able to build? I'll be able to code by myself, so I know I'm ready for a real working environment.
I think it's a business project. So we're talking about full stack web dev. So a login has to have authorization, authentication, hit a database, solve a business problem, look attractive on the front end. So if you can build something like what we talk about, the bug tracker, something like the bug tracker, then you should be ready to go. That covers most of all of the things that you need to do. So,
yep. And one last one. I always said thank you. It's okay to use F# rather than C#.
They're different.
Why would you use F# over C#?
You like
or C#
functional.
over F#?
So,
okay, and that's okay.
I mean, I don't see. I mean, there's some use cases for it, but most of the use cases also exist for C#. So,
okay,
it's okay.
So again, it's about aligning with the employer, right? Surely
it's less in demand than C# is for sure. I mean, for sure. The usage of F# is definitely smaller than the usage for C#.
Here he goes, actually asking, can I convince my employer using F# rather than C#?
I don't know. Convince me. I mean, like, if I was your employer, I would say, no, we're going to stay on C#. But like, and I had one guy that wrote like part of a project in F#. So it was like 2 languages. We had to go back and rewrite it because I didn't like that. I didn't like F# in parts and C# in others. Like,
oh wow, yeah, that's confusing.
Yeah,
that's very confusing.
Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap this up here. A couple things.
Got a guest tomorrow.
We do. We have a guest tomorrow.
Yeah, so like,
that's gonna be cool.
That's gonna be cool. And so like, she is a programmer and developer. She came out of Coder Foundry, but she's now 3 years removed, or a couple of years removed, and we're going to talk about like how she broke in and then how she's managed her career going forward. Super smart lady, done really well, and I think you can learn a lot from her journey.
Yep.
So,
I'm interested to see like her career path, like where she is and why she moved and that kind of stuff. It's going to be interesting.
Exactly. Like, and then just tell you like what we want to do with this guest is give you encouragement about like why you should take on this journey, because you can look at her and say, okay, I can do that. And you're exactly right. You can do it.
Yep. Yeah. And we'll talk about her background and what she's doing now and that kind of stuff. It'll be interesting. Definitely. So I put the link down there at the bottom again too, and I will put it in chat again. If you guys want to go join the Discord channel, you can. So you can chat.
We'll show you in the morning. So you'd like to show a meme tomorrow. So that
yep. I'm totally going to spend my evening looking over the memes that you've put in there. There's some in there already, and one of them did make me laugh, and I might use it tomorrow. I don't want to spoil it. It's funny.
I don't want to spoil it.
It's there's some good stuff.
A lot of guests coming up in the next week. We're talking to several people now. Some people that will be excited to hear from that represent some brands, and so some interesting guests for next week as well. So
we'll probably have at least 1 or 2 of these guys on next week.
Yep, exactly.
We can schedule them in. So we're working on it.
All right, cool. All right.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in, guys. Please subscribe and like, and good luck, and just keep coding.
See you tomorrow.